Here we are, and welcome to another holiday edition of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. Becky, we're pumping
Hi.
specials this week because we're nominated for a Signal Award, and we're just going to keep the content going. But also, I have my holiday suit on, and we have some incredible guests with us because this is a holiday themed episode. And one of the experts on the holidays in our family, the person who watches the most of the Christmas movies that I know of, is my wife, Allie. Allie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Already everyone has bought in to this episode because you were here, returning after your.
It gives us credibility.
Yeah.
This
It
is
gives us
really
credibility.
niche. This is what I bring to the table, and so I'm honored to be able to wow you all with my completely superfluous knowledge of this niche film genre.
Yeah, and Allie did South by Southwest, and now Christmas movies.
I have
That
range.
tracks.
I don't know what to tell you.
So our guests, which we'll bring on in a moment, are Matt and Kiwi Callahan. They are the creators of the most incredible game. It is Bad Christmas Movie Bingo. It's available in 50 retail stores. People should get it for the holidays. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, clearly, we're all Jews here, and there's a lot of watching this in your house.
You definitely celebrate movies, even if you don't celebrate Christmas. So that's what it's really about.
That is the tagline of this episode, Becky. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Before we bring Matt and Kiwi up, I just want to tell like a brief story because we'll tell it again, to be honest, because it was just too amazing that Lily's coming to visit. Lily's en route while we're recording this episode. And one of Lily's favorite activities is to send all of her mail that she can't get in Spain to my house. Last year, I think she split it between our two houses. She's not holding back this year. So much mail that mail must be falling off trucks in Arlington, Virginia. Because at 11 o'clock last night, and we do have the ring.
If you would like to know Shai's home address, just troll the highways around Arlington, Virginia, looking for my sister's discarded packages.
There are so many Amazon packages that Lily has sent that they literally fell off the truck and landed in Arlington Boulevard, Highway 50. This is a highway, okay? And at 11 something last night, we get a knock on the door. We turn on the ring camera from bed because we're like almost asleep, and there's like a fully armed person with guns and
padding,
a holster.
Yeah, I thought a militia was coming for us. Like, oh, we heard you like Amazon packages, Shy, and now we'll get you. And it was just a really nice officer who had gotten a call that some Amazon packages had fallen on the highway, and they were Lily's. And
I hope it was worth it, Lily. I hope it was worth it, whatever you ordered.
So the holidays are coming early here, and
wait,
now,
Shai.
Yeah,
I've reflected though on this moment when the doorbell rang. I said, I can't go down there. There's a man down there with a gun. Shai, you go into the door. I realize now that I said, go get this. And then you had the smarts to be like, we can talk to him through the ring.
Allie, this is the moment I've been waiting for. The elaborate security systems I have in our house came in. I was like Kevin McAllister.
You were.
Of Christmas yesterday.
You were. It was like he stopped at the little micro machines that you put outside the doorway, and he couldn't get past them. He was foiled by all your shenanigans.
If he wanted to, so clearly he didn't choose that. Okay, so we've talked about how the prep for the holidays is going with us. We are now going to bring in two experts. We are bringing in Matt and Kiwi Callahan, the inventors of Bad Christmas Movie Bingo, a game that has taken the gaming world by storm. It's been at Christmas conventions, Christmas markets, over 50 retailers in the United States. They're selling so many that I'm not sure. Do you have any left even? Is it worth us even talking about the game?
I appreciate you asking. Yes, we do have some left. Yes.
Okay. All right. That is the most important starting point of all of this. So go to badchristmasmoviebingo.com. right? badchristmasmoviebingo.com. And there are imitators out there. I want everybody to know there are some cheeseball imitators. There are some Amazon imitators. Don't buy any of those. Don't buy a single one of those. Go and get the correct one. So this is a special video episode of Friday Night Movie. We don't always do a video episode, but we're doing a video episode because you're handsome people. And also we can do things like put the website up.
Ooh,
And
so
you're
fancy.
You're actual video creators by trade, so I think it's hilarious that I'm doing all these tricks. So Matt and Kiwi, you yourselves are like a Christmas movie story yourselves. So just introduce us to both of you.
Well, I'm Matt. This is Kiwi. We are a married couple. We have been together for 22 years. We are actual high school sweethearts living in New York as marketing professionals and video professionals. And as a drunken lark one night, we had turned on a Hallmark Christmas movie, had never seen one. And then we watched another one. And then we drank some more wine. And then we thought to ourselves, wow, these are the same movie over and over again with slightly different actors and plot points. We should make a bingo game out of it. Wouldn't that be funny if we made a bingo game out of it just for our own silly purposes? And then here we are. We turned it into a real thing. Bad Christmas Movie Bingo, like you said, is in 50 retailers. We sell it online. We sell it on Etsy. We sell it on 1-800-Flowers. It is a bona fide hit, if we do say so ourselves. And we are so happy to be here. I'm going to stop talking. Go for it.
So here's the game, everyone. For those watching at home, you can see the game. This is, by the way, and I have my copy right here. It's very classy. This is some serious. I don't even know. It's not corrugated. It's like very serious, fancy cardboard. There's a little velvet bag in there for the pens.
We did want it to be a real thing. You know, we grew up playing board games, and we were like, we wanted to have that feel, right? Yeah. We wanted to have that feel of a family tradition that you can revisit every year. You pull it out of the coffee table, or you pull it off the bookshelf, or wherever it is. And it's this wonderful thing that hopefully brings a lot of people a lot of joy and laughter.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Kiwi, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the other aspect that we really went back and forth on was whether or not for it to be reusable or not. Because we got a lot of advice at the beginning from people who were like, yeah, but if you make it disposable, they have to keep buying it over and over. And we were like, yeah, but
these are reusable, environmentally friendly. And
well, I don't know about that. It is plastic.
It's environmentally friendly as they can be.
It's reusable.
Becky, you lived in Berkeley. Does this count?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If it's not made of flax or hemp, I don't think it counts. Is it beeswax? Is it beeswax based? It could be wax based. Okay.
Yes.
We're working on the compostable aspect.
Yes, compostable
Sure.
would be great.
Stay tuned.
Definitely in the roadmap.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you made the game, and this now. I have to admit, I am a Grinch about Christmas. I am the worst around Christmas to be around. One of the worst. I root for Scrooge like some of the time in the movies. I'm like, yeah. So not the part where he's mean to people.
No,
Just
sure.
But the part where he just wants to be left alone and he wants people to pay their rent, I can relate.
Yeah. Stop singing out
Strong get off my lawn vibes around Christmas
Yeah,
time.
that's all the security.
That's Shy's vibe all the time.
Yeah, so I have all the
Shy's
security
dream
cameras.
home has like a moat and a fortress wall.
And so-
Sure.
But this is like an incredible incentive for me to watch when Allie watches with our kids, because I'm going to have so much fun picking out things. For example, if I may read for a moment, woman with great career is sad on the inside.
Yeah.
Every movie, every time.
That is the key square that kickstarted the
whole thing.
entire thing. Because no matter what movie you're watching on any channel, it always starts with a career woman in the city. And she's got a high-powered job. She either is a marketer or an interior designer. And she's sad inside. And it's because she doesn't have a man.
And she often has a business item to do that has to be wrapped up immediately before the end of the calendar year in a way that makes absolutely zero sense for anyone who has a real.
I feel like we're forgetting about all of the bakers and pie makers and small shop owners.
So right here on there is flirty baking. That's one of the other bingo things.
Another key square. A lot of flour just being tossed back and forth. Oh, you stop. We're not making cookies. We're flirting.
Who is cleaning up that mess? This is the question I
want to know. Flour is
such
a pain to clean up. I mean, you basically have to vacuum it. I don't know. It's
one of my
everywhere.
And God forbid if it gets a little wet, like you're screwed.
No, it's paste. It's paste, and you're not getting rid of it, and you're not going to throw it down the drain, and then I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Candace Cameron Bure is not cleaning that up.
No.
Among the many things she's not tolerating.
Small business in trouble. Oh, good one, Allie. That just registered in my brain. Well played. A small business in trouble. I feel like it's often the bakery that possibly.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Another square along those lines that I really love is a business run by women is failing. You'd be
specifically, yeah. It's like two women running a year-round Christmas store, and they're like, these bills, they're just piling up. I don't know what we're gonna do.
So, and then there's another one which I really love, because the irony of the fact that my wife in particular, who has worked in reproductive and sexual violence justice for the better part of the last 20 years.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, one of the squares you have is just a circle with a line through it with the word feminism in it.
Is that like a free square? Like you're free.
Just
your free square.
We call that feminism strike through. We worked on crafting how to say this. Like, that square used to be, this sucks for women. Like, there's a lot of different ways that you can craft it. But, part of what we do when we're writing the squares is that, like, A, it's got to be short. B, it's got to be to the point. And you have to be able to get the humor of it across to, like, my mom's age and our age and, like, younger people. And so it's a lot of fun to figure out how to word these things. And we just figured feminism with a big circle and slash through it really got the point across.
I think you all nailed it, because you don't have to think, are we talking second wave feminism, a third wave? Who's feminism? No, it's just
all
it's
the feminism
for
all
anyone
the feminism
who cares about feminism.
When that mom comes on the screen, she's like, well, honey, I know that you have a career, but are you a person if you don't have kids and a husband? And then it goes to commercial break. And you're like, wow,
ooh, that just really
great job, Hallmark.
Like, even more problematic when it's like the dad and you're like, okay, all right, wow.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks for chiming in, I guess. Like, it's like his only line in the whole thing.
I know these must exist because they're all on your board. And so my rule of Christmas movies, of bad Christmas movies, not Christmas movies in general, because there are a lot of great Christmas movies, but is if there isn't at least 2 Vanessa Hudgens in the movie, I'm not watching.
Are you even playing? Like,
I'm not interested.
Is it even a movie?
There are a startling number of movies that fit that criteria.
That's right. And we watched them all.
I mean, those, as long as they add a new Vanessa Hudgens to each edition of the Princess Christmas, what's it called, Allie? The Princess Switch?
The Princess Switch.
The Princess Switch back. The Princess whatever.
Switches again.
The princess switches to the future. I don't know.
The princess switches with a vengeance, switch harder. All of those just keep piling on, like Orphan Black, Vanessa Hudgens.
You want to be like in an infinity mirror of Vanessa Hudgens. Like just
yeah. One of our boards we affectionately refer to as the Prince board. I think it might be board number 2. There's 15 boards in the box, and one of them is what we call the Prince board, because it allows us to deal with Prince themed Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Because there's always 4 or 5 of them a year.
And even though all the boards will work with all the movies, we specifically put a couple Prince related ones on it. And like my favorite is the placement of the 2 squares that is rich guy is not the right guy, parentheses, unless Prince. And then the square next to it is just Prince.
I haven't examined that board, but do you also have the image of the artist formerly known as Prince? Because if he made it into the films, that would really take that board over the top.
That's
a great idea. And actually, so we are working on some expansion packs, because we do want to do some that are focused on some of these like little subgenres, like the royal ones and also like the dog ones and all those, those
dog ones.
Which are the worst. Especially if you're a dog owner. Like, how's Rocket doing, by the way?
Oh, he's the cutest. He's wonderful. Okay. He has a dog too, Sabaka.
Oh, Amazing. Okay, well, anyway, as a dog owner, the dog ones are the worst because like they just do the worst things with like dog ownership. Like the one that sticks out in my mind is I don't remember what it was called, but she was taking care, somehow like had like convoluted plot to take care of her neighbor's dog or something, and this golden retriever, and she takes them to the Christmas tree farm. The dog gets off its leash and runs off, and she's like, oh no, Rover, where are you? And she goes and looks, and then she runs into the romantic lead, stops looking for the dog, has like a whole scene.
Drop that thread. They just drop the thread of her lost dog.
The dog can probably smell how good looking he is and is going to come back.
It was like you're watching a play and someone comes on stage and just puts a handgun on the coffee table and then nobody talks about it. And you're like, we need to deal with the handgun. It was a lot.
Really
it was concerning.
tense.
It was very concerning.
I have a question. Is the theme of mistaken or switched identity too broad to be its own subgenre, or would that be a subgenre?
Well, that's a good question. It is a square on the board. Someone hides their true identity is already a square.
Or a mistaken identity. Like you don't realize the guy you're falling in love with is really your boyfriend's brother.
Right. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like that's
They use that trope so often across so many different movies that
right.
it just kind of is like, it's basically like fake Snow on Ground at this point.
Got it.
It's sprinkled throughout. Yeah.
Okay, so
another one of the subgenres that we really love though is so Hallmark has its other channel, which is Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, which we have now started affectionately referring to it as Hallmark Troops and Ghosts. Because really what that channel is really just movies about the military, like military personnel and like people who die and sometimes come back to life. But it's like they're extremely depressing movies all the time.
No
like
joy.
Tragic lockets and widows are just everywhere. Like the ground is littered with widows. So we love calling that Troops and Ghosts. It kind of deserves its own genre.
So the military veteran one is definitely one that we're looking at because they have their own things, like someone comes in carrying a large duffel bag, over the shoulder, back off the ship, carrying their
freak weather event keeps them in Afghanistan, like that kind of
Thank God, I thought the duffel bag had a dead body in it. That's what I thought you were going with that.
That's Lifetime.
So we have, believe it or not, we have more than one game that were created on the Friday Night Movie Podcast. We even have a prototype of the card game, but here it's right here. We made a bunch of them and we bring them to Comic-Cons to play with people. Like we actually have a Friday Night Movie card game, but we're not as industrious as you guys. So we've never written down instructions, and it probably needs.
You can't just like hand that to someone. They will not know how to play.
But that's you part would need. Of the game is like one of the roles is the host because it's a podcast type.
So it could only be played with one of the three of us. They're very expensive, but when you purchase one, we come in the actual wrapping, in the packaging.
Okay, great.
We have a bunch of games. I think eventually we could create a Friday Night Movie board game with the amount of games we've created on the show. But the original game, the OG, the one that is, how could we not play games with you? It's called Buy, Rent, or Meh.
Okay.
Sure.
I think you got it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I don't understand it right away. You guys seem to get it. 3 things, and you will rank them accordingly. Buy, rent, or meh. And the most important thing is that you explain your answer.
Okay.
And we all might play a little bit. Sometimes we jump in with just having everybody do it takes forever. Sure. But so we're going to work our way from good Christmas movies to bad ones here. Because this is a movie podcast, and we have talked about all these movies that I'm never going to watch just now. But I am going to watch now that I have this game. Like, honestly, I hope Hallmark is sending you guys a check because more people are going to watch their movies because of this game.
I think they know that, and like they're not really going to give us the time of day because we have the word bad right there in the brand name. But like they know
what they're doing.
Yeah. They know you should do a crossover with them, a crossover movie event.
So we were at Christmas Con. And all of the Hallmark movie stars and a lot of the screenwriters were there. And 3 screenwriters bought the game. Like they stopped in the booth and thought it was hilarious. They were like, "Oh yeah, I wrote that movie." Like, and then they were like, "How much?"
That's amazing.
And now when they get stuck,
Also-
they just pull out your game and they're like,
Yeah, if
that.
anything, it's only gonna make it
Yeah,
better.
they're like, I need a thing. Tragic locket. Yeah, let's add a tragic locket.
Tragic locket.
Right. This is a bingo game, or it's one of those like writer's assistant games. You know,
Right.
it helps you.
Writing prompts.
Yeah, so okay, so the three now these are right again. We're Jews, so we don't have strong criteria of what's a Christmas movie or not. Right? We're not going to get into the for us. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Christmas.
That's totally for us too, though.
Although last year we tried to reclaim it as a Hanukkah movie. It's an underdog story. There's a lot of fire. That was my whole pitch.
Totally makes sense.
We kill a German guy in the end, so I think that totally.
Amazing. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Kiwi, will you come back many times? Okay. So Die Hard. And if you haven't seen the movie, even better, we'll explain to you what it is. Then even more fun to give your opinion on it.
Okay, perfect.
Amazing.
Die Hard, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is Shane Black, Robert Downey Jr., and Val Kilmer.
Uh-huh.
And Monaghan, right? Right?
Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah, Monaghan.
I don't know. I don't remember the last time I saw that movie.
Yeah.
And Violent Night, which Allie and I and Becky and I just saw in the theater on Allie's birthday, starring David Harbour. And these all kind of have a certain similarity of violence, but also some funny violence.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I mean, yes.
Lead off. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so Die Hard is by.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Correct. Right.
It's so classic. I don't think there's a single wasted scene in the entire film. Him walking on the glass is so iconic. It's just such a beautiful movie. And it absolutely is a Christmas movie. So it leaves you with all the right feelings, you know.
At what age would you show your children? Kiwi's met my children. You've recorded them.
Well, I'm not a good person to ask this because in my family, I was not allowed to see PG-13 movies till I was 13. And I was not allowed to see R-rated movies until I was 17.
My parents, as soon as Die Hard came out on VHS, they like made sure I watched it. They were like, this movie's amazing. You have to see it.
So your education started early.
I don't remember not knowing about Die Hard. Like, there's no period in my life before Die Hard existed. It's like part of like an early core memory.
I saw so many worse movies in terms of like violence and gore and language by the time I was like 12 than Die Hard. I really think Die Hard is fine for like a 13-year-old. Like,
I watched Speed at a slumber party when I was like, I think 11, and that like I still have burned in my mind the scene in the subway where somebody shoots the subway driver in the back. And I think it was the first gun violence I'd ever seen. And I was like,
not the part where his head is severed by the oncoming like end of the
I don't even
tunnel.
remember that. So I think I must have like,
or by then your eyes were just closed.
Or, I don't know. Maybe my mom picked me up after that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So Die Hard, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Violent Night.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So it's been a long time since I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Me too.
I remember it being great. But the other problem is that I haven't seen Violent Night.
So I think I would rent Violent Night because I want to see it, and then I think we're gonna have to meh Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, even though like,
I'm in agreement.
Not necessarily.
One thing is that meh isn't necessarily last place. Meh can mean exactly how you said it. It's not a long time ago. I'd rather see a new movie, so I'm gonna meh. That's Allie and Becky. I feel like how do you feel? I mean, you'd probably flip the both, right?
I'm gonna buy. It's hard because I've seen all of them and I just saw Violent Night, but I don't want to meh, but I might flip it because I would, I haven't seen Kiss Bang Bang in a while. I'm like, ooh, I am kind of curious, but this is just a coincidence of what I've seen more recently. But the point is that Die Hard is the buy.
Die Hard's the buy, and honestly, I have no recollection of Christmas being even in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, so that can easily be my meh.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I don't remember that being Christmas themed.
Oh, well, all right. It's very Christmas themed. All right, so the next one we're going to go with are Christmas Carol adaptations.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So your first option is Scrooged, starring Bill Murray.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Peak late 80s Bill Murray era, or maybe early 90s. Then The Muppet Christmas Carol with Michael Caine.
Calm down. Calm down.
And then I'm going to throw in a new one because we saw it and we loved it. Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds.
Before we do this, I don't know if you can hear this, but my dog is whining back here. I think she's feeling really jealous that she's not part of the broadcast.
She can be in the show.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to give Bianca a cameo.
That's great.
Mhm.
Here she comes.
Here comes Bianca.
Really increase our viewers.
Hi,
Wow, that's a cute
puppy.
dog. What kind of dog
That
is
is
it?
a tiny.
She's a Chihuahua.
It is a Chihuahua. That's awesome.
so tiny.
Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness.
Yes, you can sit with us. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for accommodating our dog's neediness. I mean, I know my answer.
No, you're clearly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Muppet Christmas Carol is by for sure. I think that definitely qualifies as my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And which is a tough, like I'm aware that that's a big statement.
I'm also going to go ahead and say that it is objectively the best depiction of Christmas Carol on film.
It's so awesome.
I really do. I love
so
it.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Caine is just like Michael Caine. I remember reading this in an article somewhere. It was so right. It's like, they came to Michael Caine and they were like, well, we're going to do Christmas Carol, but, it's with Muppets. And, so you're going to be Scrooge, but like it's Muppets. So like, just go nuts, whatever you want to do. And he's like, I'm going to do the most deadpan, awful, evil depiction of Scrooge possible. And they're like, okay. I mean, we have Gonzo right here, but if you want to do that, sure. And he just nails it. It's like he's in his own movie doing his own thing, but it still works.
Yep.
Such a phenomenal film.
Yep.
In terms of Rent, I'm going to say the new one with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, because also haven't seen it.
But love both of them.
Phenomenal. And I think it's getting great reviews too. I think it's generally being well received. I'm very excited about it. It's got some musical stuff in it. And then if I have to do a meh, it's going to be Scrooged.
Yeah, only again because of the long time ago thing, but not necessarily as a judgment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scrooged is one. So the Christmas, despite me not loving like Christmas movies, the Christmas Carol story is one that I really love because I love the overall message and arc of seeing your life past, future, present. Like that whole thing is. It always teaches me lessons.
I love that the only way a capitalist is going to do the right thing is if he's bullied into it by ghosts. I think that's heartwarming.
Okay, and the last ones in our category. Because you are scientific experts. Okay. I went to an authoritative source. I went to the Anthony Fauci of Christmas knowledge.
Wow.
As I'm concerned, which is Good Housekeeping. I don't know. I went to their website. They had a list of the top 40 Hallmark Christmas movies specifically. And I went to the top 3 according to them.
Okay.
I need to go back to that and go through and check off how many I've seen. It's going to be ugly.
I'm very interested. Okay.
These are the top 3. I don't know what order I put them in. The Christmas Train, starring Dermot Mulroney and Kimberly Williams Paisley.
Yep.
While on a cross-country train ride home, Tom meets interesting characters, including Kimberly Williams Paisley's Eleanor, who opens his eyes to the true meaning of Christmas and life, for that matter. So that's number 1. Number 2 is Let It Snow, starring Candace Cameron Bure.
I remember.
And she plays Scrooge in it, who hates winter. Cue joke from Allie about
all the other things she hates and people.
And she opens a ski lodge or something. Okay. And then number 3, starring Gretchen Wieners herself, Lacey Chabert.
Yes.
A Royal Christmas. And it's picture this. This is how it's written in Good Housekeeping. Picture this. You're preparing to spend the holidays with your boyfriend who just told you that he's heir to the throne of Cordinia. That's the description.
I mean, I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that qualifies as a fictional town/country, which is a bingo square. But I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, as it deserves to be. That is a beloved trope.
So, which of these do you buy, rent, or make?
So we are going to go with this purely on how well these movies do with bingo, not based on how good they are, because they're all garbage. But
I couldn't ask for more in your answer
for bingo.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna put you all in the big box for this too. This is going HD here, people.
Whoa.
Wow.
The big box.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
How do
sweet
you
girl?
feel about it,
okay?
Bianca?
Remember from Bad Christmas Movies, bingo.com.
So the Lacey Chabert one is the buy. It was a royal Christmas or a royal Christmas holiday, however we're saying
royal
that.
Happy Christmas holiday in a castle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, for lots of reasons. It's got most of the squares. You're going to do great on the Prince board, but you're going to do good on all the boards. I mean, it really ticks all of the boxes. Fictional town country.
Yeah.
You've got a pretty dress reveal.
Yeah.
I think you even have a pretty dress reveal coming down a spiral staircase.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is like the quintessential pretty dress reveal.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that one's definitely the buy. And
then Rent is kind of a toss-up because the other two are good. I feel like Candace Cameron Bure, though, has to be the Rent. She's a step up from the Christmas Train. I feel like I remember
even with America's fiance, Dermot Mulroney.
I mean, this is a tough call because
train ones are weird. The travel movies are sometimes
hard.
Difficult for bingo. You could actually classify travel Christmas movies as almost its own category. You've got the whole thing where like they're stranded in the airport and they both rent a car to get home to Iowa or wherever they're going to see their families. And it's like the travel home for Christmas one. They're dicey. They're dicey.
Yeah, they're sort of hit or miss. And I can't remember how this particular one was. I feel like because it was like it was good. I feel like it was good for like the magical helper type squares. And like maybe there's a magical, like the train might even be.
Normally the train conductor is a ghost in these scenarios or like an angel or a troll or however they get around.
I'm really happy that the train conductor isn't like a mystical Jew. That would really freak me out.
You know what? I bet you if we go back to some of the 90s movies, though, I bet we'd find.
We gotta stick some Hanukkah in here. We'll make the train conductor.
We're being inclusive. Why are you so mad?
We'll make the guy who collects the tickets and the money.
Yeah.
All right. We can make that joke. Okay. Matt and Kiwi Callahan, creators of Bad Christmas Bingo. Before we head on out, we always like to do our shout outs and recs. This is when you shout out and make recommendations. Our shout out, of course, here today is Bad Christmas Movie Bingo, which people can get at badchristmasmoviebingo.com and lots of other places. But what are your shout outs and recs? Are there things that you recommend this holiday season or just things that you're interested in watching? Maybe you're just watching like a cool murder show that you want to tell us about.
Oh, we are. Well, okay. So, oh gosh. Oh, that is so opens up a whole thing. Okay. So let's start with Christmas and then we'll move into non-Christmas. We're talking about this on the pre-show, but I want to mention again, there is a new Netflix movie starring Lindsay Lohan called Falling for Christmas. And it is quite possibly the greatest bingo movie of all time. Guaranteed riotous laughter.
Multiple bingos, possibly blackouts. Like if you're playing this as a drinking game, like you should. Don't do it with shots. You'll die. Like just wine or beer.
Yes.
Because you're still going to get hammered. It's such a phenomenal bingo movie.
Yeah.
So that's a great call out. I love that call out.
Yeah. So that one for sure. And then in terms of good Christmas movies, I think there are a lot of really well-known ones, but I want to shout out one that is maybe lesser known. It's an animated movie called Arthur Christmas. And if you haven't seen that one,
it's like
that little
worm guy.
No, it's not.
It's set at the North Pole. So you got, it's like generations of Santa Claus and it's like who's taking over as the next Santa Claus.
It's nothing related to the PBS show. It's
okay.
But you've got Jim Broadbent, Hugh Laurie, James McAvoy.
What?
Yeah.
Really fantastic cast. And like, it's a great, clever movie. Like I think there's a lot of like thoughtful details and I just really like it a lot.
It's one of the few movies that have come out in recent times / decade that has become part of our like annual must watch list. Yeah. So big shout out to Arthur Christmas.
Yeah.
Love that.
Non-Christmas wise, we are watching a couple mystery shows, partially because we're also watching a lot of trashy mysteries on Lifetime and Hallmark because our next game is actually Bad Mystery Movie Bingo because the rest of the year, Hallmark and Lifetime are just doing these terrible mysteries, which are, equally bad for women, if not worse, because at least like most women live to the end of a Hallmark movie. But that's not the case in these Lifetime mystery movies. So that's happening. But then in terms of good mysteries, we're watching a BBC show called Vera, which we really love. There's a few seasons of that on Amazon Prime right now. And then I have never seen
Better tell Dad, Beck. Better tell Dad if he hasn't already watched it. He loves a British mystery.
Yes, it's so good. And I have never seen The Killing. So we just started that. And
we're introducing her to that. Obviously,
so
it's
amazing.
Lily, our other usual host. That's her That's her. I think she's seen that show.
Yeah,
That's
totally amazing.
Fantastic. These are amazing recommendations. Matt and Kiwi, we're so excited to share your game with the world. And I actually have here, I have upstairs, and I have an extra copy because I bought a bunch last year, remember?
Oh, I do remember that.
So when someone hears or sees this and you message me, I'm giving you this game. So there's like a giveaway here too.
Ooh.
You're going to get a copy of the game. So just reach out to me and I'll figure out how to get it to you. And while you're reaching out and doing fun things, remember, folks, the Signal Awards voting is still alive and well. It is, I'm going to put it up too, but you can vote until December 22nd. All of the information is on our socials on @FridayNightMovie. You just go to the links. There's places to vote. We are up against the one and only Conan O'Brien for best co-host of a limited series. It's just us and him, and we are down by 2% right now. So we are hanging in there.
Can we vote multiple times?
No, you cannot. You got to vote.
No.
Saying this honestly,
I have so many Twitter and Google accounts, though. I can make this happen.
The Signal Awards have integrity. They will not accept votes from.
I bet you have relatives. So
right.
And with that, we want to thank our guests, Matt and Kiwi. Thank Allie for coming as our in-house expert and our guest host on a regular basis, and Becky, who's braving parenting multiple sick children, and at any given moment.
Any given moment, someone might throw up on me. That's basically where we're at this week.
We'll release this on YouTube and on Reels on Instagram first, and then the audio will come out later, so that way we can make sure to hype the game in the holiday season as much as possible. And let's see, our theme song is by What Does It Eat? You can follow me at Pancake Fort Table. You can follow Becky at
FNM Sisters on Instagram.
And you get Lily
Friday
with
Night
that.
Movie Sisters. Yeah.
I don't think Allie wants to be followed. Do you want to be followed, Allie?
I don't even remember what my Instagram name is, so I'm good.
Nice. At Christmas movies at Bad Xmas Bingo is the
that is us across all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Even I figured out how to do TikTok. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And our theme music, which gets put in post production, is by What Does It Eat? And thank you so much for doing this. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.